As an American and an atheist, I rely on the freedoms of the First Amendment every day. There are some in this country who do not take the separation of church and state seriously, and who spread a certain myth. That myth is that America was founded upon what they have termed Judeo-Christian values. Some even go so far as to claim our country was founded upon the Bible itself, and that America is a Christian nation. None of that is true. This myth is a dangerous one, for there are those in the far Christian right who wouldn't mind seeing this nation become a theocracy. And I think that ordinary Christians, people of other faiths, and atheists alike should be doing our best to dispel this dangerous myth. The Christian nation claim itself is pretty easy to put to bed. All you have to do is type Treaty of Tripoli into Wikipedia. President John Adams signed an agreement, part of which acknowledged that America wasn't founded on Christianity at all. The second part of the myth takes a bit more education to be rid of, in that a Christian would actually have to read their Bible and read the Constitution and compare the two. Many of these fundamentalists believe that our Constitution and our laws are based upon the Bible. To all of them, I prescribe a simple test. Get a copy of the Bill of Rights and put it next to the Ten Commandments. Where exactly do these two documents agree? I can tell you where they disagree. The Ten Commandments specifically restrict freedom of religion. You shall have no other gods before Yahweh. There's even a verse in Exodus that says the sins of the father will be passed on to the son. But we wouldn't throw a son into prison for a murder that his father committed, would we? If the Ten Commandments isn't good enough, what of the myriad of other laws and restrictions found in the Old and New Testament? Restrictions on what to eat, what not to eat, what sort of fabric you're allowed to wear, how hard you're allowed to beat your slave. That's in Exodus 21. Surely these help form the foundation of American law, right? Well, no, not at all. What about Deuteronomy 22:20-21, where it states that a woman who is not a virgin on her wedding night is evil and must be stoned for the mere act of fornication? Is this sort of barbarism what Christians want us reduced to? Do they want slavery to make a comeback? Do they want to not be able to eat ham, or for women to not be allowed to wear pants? My guess is that most of those spreading this dangerous myth don't even know what their holy book says. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, though. Let's pretend for a moment that they don't actually mean Judeo-Christian, and that they only mean Christ. They want our laws to emulate the teachings of Christ. This is a far better prospect than having Old Testament law be the basis for our government. But it still isn't ideal. Jesus' teachings are mostly about how to live a good life, and aren't really suited to forming the foundation of a nation. Some of his teachings are also questionable, such as teaching that merely lusting after a woman is the same as cheating on your wife. Not only is this teaching immoral, as mere fantasy or lust should not be wrong, but it would be impossible to put into law without being able to read every man's thoughts. The New Testament is no better than the Old on a lot of subjects, in particular slavery, with the Apostle Paul reminding slaves to obey their earthly masters. Many of the Founding Fathers were indeed Christians, as many Americans today are. But just because many of them are Christian doesn't mean they existed in a vacuum where only Christian ideas and ideals could be incorporated into the new nation they were forging. Most of those directly involved in penning the Declaration and Constitution were actually deists, and many of those who influenced the ideas of the Revolution were in opposition to the biblical idea of God. One of those free thinkers was Thomas Paine, who wrote the famous pamphlet, Common Sense. In Paine's The Age of Reason, he wrote this: the next time some Christian tells you this is a Christian nation and the Ten Commandments should be in front of every courthouse, simply point him to the Bill of Rights, or this video, or the Treaty of Tripoli, or back to his own Bible. America is not a Christian nation. Thanks for watching.